Hi everyone, I'm Soliat and this is CEO Dancers Off Stage and we are off script.
My own pressures are different from yours. They might be, no, they're different.
How?
No, but they are.
They are different.
They are. I can understand that.
How do you not? I'm just rebellious. Even if my mom
Me
says
too.
do this, I'm gonna just do what I want to do.
So then that means your pressures are
different.
So you can
I feel
handle
the pressure, but I'm still gonna do what my heart tells me to do.
fine.
But that's not her.
It's
you
not
do
me.
you, she does her.
My pressures are so different, and you're not understanding that. In my head, there was a job laid out that I left.
Yeah.
Your statement, whether it was flippant or not flippant, it was said. Yeah. And my reaction to that was, okay, she's leaving. We need to I need to put myself together if this is where I'm going to be. Yeah. Whether you didn't end up leaving doesn't mean that statement wasn't put out there. I even said to you, feel free to do the music. You can be the Beyonce. As long as I get my 33%, I don't care. Like,
to be honest,
that is where that statement is.
Even with that, us being a group, it even felt like, for me, I wasn't in it because I was like,
but that's fine,
it's not a real thing.
But that's what I said, because you even really said in that conversation, you even said that no, that you really want to take this seriously. Yeah. And I said, okay, cool, not a problem. And then it was all the extra...
Let's leave Beyonce out of this, please.
No.
Before she comes to...
It was just a conversation, like kind of talking. But when I sat back and I looked at the things that I just left for this, it was like, okay, cool, Esne, figure it out. You need to figure out what to do. Yeah. I think I'm very much, like, I'm not someone that will react. I don't know exactly what happened between me and Bile that made me change the passwords or do anything. So I apologize for that, because something must have triggered me. I'm not someone that doesn't know how to communicate something directly to someone if you've done something.
Back then you didn't, but now you've
now I've grown, and I know how to communicate.
Then you did it. We were all just like strong-headed, all of us.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you on that, because Esne is, I always say Esne is one of my most direct friends, and for me that really shook me because it felt like somebody I didn't know. I think I took it hard. I wasn't angry. I wasn't. Like, I think I was disappointed in Esne, because I'm like, this is so ugly now. Like, this is not the group that I know. This is not the girls that I know. These are not my sisters. Because how are we doing this to each other? You created a whole post saying you want to start a whole new generation of CEO dancers, something we spoke about, something we said, once we all retire, we're going to do. And
I think also mentally, I think sometimes in my head, because I come up with a lot of ideas, I'm also maybe feeling, and maybe I'm just reacting now, but I'm also feeling like maybe it was my idea and I was running with it, not our idea. And maybe something we spoke about.
No, but then you can't call it CEO dancers.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
You can't exclude the members of CEO dancers and create it.
I feel like there's something missing in this conversation.
I remember then,
I would love to know.
I will own up to it. No, back then I feel like it wasn't, yes, things stemmed probably from my statement of coming out and saying, guys, I want to focus on music, blah, blah.
No, it's not about you focusing on music.
No, I'm talking about, now I'm getting to,
okay, cool.
Lost my chain of thought.
No, sorry.
Yeah, so, I forgot.
No, something that you were saying that I wanted to, like you said, you feel like I was full of, everything that you said you wanted to do. I wanted to clarify that my business management head was second. When we sat in that meeting. So sorry, my love. When we sat in that meeting, and I
lose it again.
Yeah, so but wait. Yeah, going back to the point. It felt like it was every little thing. I know this is so petty, but one time we even had an event. The entire outfit, literally the same outfit, down to the shoes. Like, we have different styles.
Wait,
you can't
pause.
No, I'm just making an example.
But why am I going to know what you're wearing?
Wait. It was too much of a coincidence. No, and then, wait, just let me finish my point. And then it's like, okay, the vocal coach, which I've told you that I'm working with, she's told me, oh, you're working with her. The producer, the producer I'm talking about, that I'm recording with, now you're recording with. It's just
can I understand
in my
something?
Head,
yeah, go on.
In my head, it's just like, this girl is everything I'm doing, you're doing. It just felt weird. And the people around me, like I said, third parties, like, we were all guilty of that, like allowing third parties to inject their thoughts. So I feel like with that, I'll put my hand up. Yeah, I did kind of, listen to third parties and such. like to amplify on what I was feeling already.
I think for me, the one important thing was that understanding that entertainment industry is small. As us as CEO, we didn't know different people. We know the exact same people. I said this to you as well over the phone, that I'm someone that competes against myself. When I was doing the idea and I said, oh, business management, and I was like, oh, okay, let's do music. The moment I was like, let's do music, and you're like, oh, you want to do music separately, for me, it's still a business management, like a business strategic move of like, okay, let me try my hand in music. Whether we were going to do it as, I've even tried to do music with a band.
Like, we had that idea after
it's not.
Mobile has said she wants to.
It's not.
It wasn't before that.
It was. I can promise you.
No, I've always said I want to do music. We didn't talk about us doing music as a group before I said it. No, that's
Solia, have I? Solia is always a good middle ground person. I've never.
That's weird.
The first time I heard that you wanted to do music seriously, as a not even like.
I started recording with Malik way back. I even announced it. I used to send you the songs we used to record back then. I didn't know that.
Okay, Nabile, I can't say that you've always said you wanted to do music, like professionally, and you know that's like your end goal. Yeah. But we can all agree that she's always kind of loved music, whether it be the latest jams or whatever. And also remember she used to sing, like she used to post like music videos, and you always used to encourage her, like, babe, post more.
Yeah, but that's not taking away from the fact that the first time she had said to me, I want to do music, was when we were sitting down and I had said, hey guys, I feel like we need to make money, and the way we can do it is by opening up into music.
Yes.
And then her response was no, I want to do music seriously.
I agree with that.
And then I said, oh, don't worry, we can do Destiny's Child. You can be the lead as long as I get my
Hey, literally. Beyonce, sorry to involve you again.
No, I'm sorry. But like, and that's how that came about. In reference to the entertainment industry and like working with the same people, you need to understand, like, I went from being an accountant to anything I know entertainment is through CEO. So our network is the same. There is no difference. So if I say to myself...
Can you understand in my head how it looks?
It's fine
just put yourself in my shoes.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Try to understand, babe.
I can't understand.
I can't put yourself in my shoes for a second.
Because I don't see.
It was too coincidental. Everything back to back.
But you're not listening.
Understand?
Why are you getting it from the back like that? Do it again. No, but like you.
Can you stop?
You need to understand that that's what the entertainment. So I think there's an element of insecurity that you need to think for yourself, because I didn't even.
I was insecure.
Yes.
Are you mad? Insecure about what?
I think so, because I think there was a fear of you knowing that Ezinne is also a go-getter, and that she might reach the goal faster than you. Not necessarily
better.
Thank you.
Do you understand?
Not necessarily, because you have an undeniable talent.
Absolutely. So why would I feel
every day?
I feel.
Yes.
Relax. But back then, yes, I think there was a level of insecurity, and you were like, "What the hell?" Like, if Ezinne gets this, or if Ezinne goes to the same people that I'm working with, she's gonna put out the music faster. She's
like,
gonna do this faster. No. But also Ezinne, I can understand where she's coming.
I feel like Ezinne stepped. She always stepped on toes.
Yes.
Absolutely not. No, I disagree completely.
Let me give you an example.
Whose toe am I stepping on?
My toes, her toes.
How?
You don't know. Nobody stepped on my own toe.
Nobody.
So what?
My toes are fine. Nobody slept on my own toes, because I was just there like a fucking scapegoat, looking at you people going back and forth.
Let me speak for myself. You stepped on my toes heavily, and whoa, and there were whoa.
Should I tell you when you stepped on my toes?
Wait, let her finish what she was saying.
I don't even care anymore.
No, care, because it was a great point.
Okay, next question.
Shut up, not because you were backing me, because you were making a valid point.
Exactly.
Okay, next question. This is actually from me to Nabile. I want to ask you, when I changed the passwords and caught you guys out and tried to tackle you guys from your feet under, how did you feel? How did you deal with feeling betrayed by me?
Oh, child.
How did I deal?
Yeah. How did you deal with feeling betrayed?
At first, it was more just lashing out, but not outwardly. It was more internally. It felt like at the time, Solia was that support system for me. It was very internal. Like, and I remember being at Solia's house, and obviously everyone in our family knew. And they were like, oh, everyone's shocked, like, rah, Ezene's done this. That's why I know, like, it wasn't anything that we made up in our heads. Even they were shocked. Because
remember, we called my auntie and we had a meeting with her.
Yeah, as a lawyer, and I called my friend Melissa. Every lawyer was on deck. Like,
after all your lawyering conversations? Nothing.
Yeah, because you didn't end up going through with it.
No, but I held the class.
Yeah, but then that was the day you held the class was the day we found out. I remember it was downstairs at yours. Was it a Saturday or Sunday? I remember that day. And we called everyone on deck, and whilst it's happening, we're trying to figure it out. Then the next day, I think. The next following week, we kind of we talked it out or something. It was resolved basically.
I think for me, all I remember was saying that, look, this has nothing to do with CEO Dancers. This is Ezene's venture, and there will be no such thing as a junior CEO. But because you had already trademarked it, you felt like, I'm still going to do what I want to do. And
how did you deal with that feeling?
Sorry, with that feeling, because you asked me, I hadn't finished my feelings. And no, because my feelings are still feeling, they're still landing. I was very angry. Hence why I said I was lashing out internally, but it wasn't something that I was going to go out there and type of, because I could have taken it to social media, but I just thought, I feel like I was so hurt, aside from angry.
But you both, I remember when you guys did a post or something together.
We were forced to, because you kept going. But I have to, because wow, the hurt is here now. It's like, it's here. It's in my throat. I need to let it out. No, because at first you were doing things subtly, and I feel like because we weren't really contending what you were doing, you were like, okay, you felt justified, so you kept going in. I was like, Then we're like, okay, when you do something, we kind of retaliate and we go on social media to try stop that, because it's like, what are you doing?
But in my head, I think,
so I feel like more than anything, I feel like I was very disappointed.
Okay.
And her, yeah.
But how did you deal? The question is.
Madly. I dealt with it madly. I was mad. I was hurt. I was confused. I'd never gone through that ever. You were my best friend. The same way she was my best friend. Like, how are you going to... Wait, how could you do that?
No, you're not going to do that.
What?
When we're talking, you're not going to shout over and be like, hey!
No, come on. Don't take it personally,
No,
babe. I'm
not, because I'm also like, hearing this is also very hurtful for me, like receiving it. I'm being honest. I'm actually a very emotional person that people don't even know.
Yeah, but that hate wasn't at you like that.
No, I know it's not at me like that.
Come on, it's just my personality.
No, because the question I'm asking is, how do
you're gonna be the first
deal
to cry then.
with feeling betrayed? Because I never for one felt like I betrayed you.
That's the issue.
And do you get what I mean?
Do you want to ask me, because this one just waffles.
Wow.
No. I didn't feel like I betrayed anyone. I genuinely felt like if not that wasn't said, and I think I was more irritated by the fact that you guys were now upset about something that you guys were not willing to put any effort in. Like, I left everything.
You keep saying that.
No, because it's important. It's important. No, I say it because
but everyone's got their own issues. Just because I don't think, my family. No,
it's nothing to do with my family.
Yeah, but then you keep saying you left something as if you're the only one who sacrificed.
No,
everyone made sacrifices, not similar to you.
No, it's not it. Like, and also, your sacrifices are your sacrifices. I'm not going to undermine your sacrifices. Do you understand? But I'm not going to diminish how, as a 21-year-old, coming into a space that I've never been in, trying to navigate it by myself with family members that are not supporting you at all, leaving everything you have, people saying to you that, oh, you're harnessing souls for the devil while still going to church. Like, you cannot comprehend how difficult.
How do you know what my family were thinking? I never used to communicate it.
I feel like when we... Like, part of communicating for me is like
allowing
listening,
the person,
like allowing me to speak, and listening to understand, not to respond.
Yeah,
I think for me, it's important that when we use a word like betrayal, it's to understand it carries weight.
Yeah,
and the weight of betrayal for me, I see it as a heavy thing, and it's nothing that I never in my heart wanted you guys to ever feel. I felt like you guys didn't want this. And that's why I'm like, I would never do those things unless I genuinely felt like they don't want this. They want to do their own thing. They want to carry on with their own lives, and I'm just doing my own thing.
Well, why you see, you have to, differentiate each other, because when you say they, that means you're immediately grouping me with Nobile.
And then that's the problem. That I felt that was the issue, because I genuinely felt like you guys had your thing, and then I was like,
what's the thing?
We were a unit. We were a unit. Sometimes, remember, Esne used to feel left out.
I used to feel left out all the time. So I was just like, they were happy with themselves.
But then at the same time, I felt like that was due... Sorry. I feel like a lot of the times, though, that was due to not even like anything that we did intentionally. It was more like, I feel like your actions, which I get, but it was like your actions led to even us having to cling on to each other even closer, because it's like it was you against us at some point, not intentionally, but it felt like it. And she had to be my support system and vice versa.
That's the honest truth about it, because even after this had happened, or was this before Bile moved? When did Bile live with you? This is at the beginning.
Like middle-ish. Like, so I'm talking Britain's Got Talent time.
So I think what is confusing for me...
This conversation happened after Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, because we had finished doing
Britain's Got Talent, everything.
And had done everything at that point. I think for me, it's just really understanding that as much as we use words like betrayal and strategic, no, this is a life. I don't wake up thinking... okay, what am I going to do to piss off Nobile and Solia?
When I say strategic, I don't mean strategically trying to piss me off.
Do you understand? I'm not that kind of person, and it's so good. I don't even care about like that we're on a podcast. Like, I'm not someone that strategically wants to piss anyone off or wants someone to feel shit or wants someone not to attack something. I'm someone that is very much learning in the field of entertainment, knowing I went from corporate into this space, and there's so many things that I'm trying to navigate. But what was very important to me is I cannot not make it, because there is an expectation waiting for me to crumble. Not just like from the people you knew. There were people deeper that wanted this not to work out for me. So whilst maybe you guys were bonding in new places, I wasn't bonding like heavily. I was very much panicked, because I was like, I made a presentation to my family about this, and now in 6 months it's gonna go. What are they gonna look at me for? How am I gonna survive this? Do you
Can I say though, at the same time,
sorry, go on.
Sorry, at the same time though, think about this girl. She has no family in this country. She's on her ones. That's why I even moved in with Solet. Solia's family became our family. I even lived with you for a point.
You moved in with me first.
No, it was Solet first, and then we all...
The timeline is timelining.
It was her first, then we moved into Solet's house together, and then...
I never lived with...
Yeah, you did for like a little bit.
No.
Not lived, but you were around a lot.
We rehearsed in your house like on a daily basis.
No, the time where you were there with your suitcase.
Through with your family.
No.
Yeah, there was a time.
And I lived in your house.
I lived, but like...
Probably stayed, maybe it was like weeks or something, or a month.
Weeks?
I can't remember. Yeah.
No, babes, I'm sorry. I lived in a room with bed bugs because I refused.
That was after, but before, no, trust me. There was a time where we even used to joke about it. A time where, we all lived together at Solly's. Yeah, we've joked about it. You probably don't remember.
I don't remember living with Solly. Yeah, I would remember quite vividly because I'll make her cook for me.
Yeah, but speaking of that, like, think about it. Solia, I've always actually felt like you're actually super blessed, not to even compare your circumstances, but your sister, you live with your sister. She's super cool. Like, she's like not closer to your age like that, but she's understanding. She's not like you're living with your mom. You've been always blessed in that sense. And then I feel like I get where you're coming from, but also I feel like at the time you didn't understand it from someone else's perspective.
I didn't see anybody's perspective.
Because how about me that has no family here? How do you expect for me to fend for myself? Shouldn't I be moving how you're moving?
Well, you said you were moving. That's why I was like, now.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking about myself and my well-being, not from a selfish point like,
but it is from a selfish point, and everybody was in a selfish point.
No, I think
I was on a selfish point.
Very selfish in the way you decided to handle and, go about things, to be completely honest. But again, it's learning. You were in a fight or flight mode, and you were in a I don't know what I'm doing mode, and this were the reactions and the actions, I guess.
So what does an aligned, fulfilling friendship now look like? Let me ask you.
20 minutes later. I think one of my biggest lessons from even hearing these things, the things that you're even saying to me that I'm just like, hey, I did that, what? Is communication. Mm-hmm. I think for me, friendship means talking, because even before we like said we're gonna sit down, I said to you, before I talk to you about coming together again, I want to be completely direct and honest. Like I told her every little detail to the point where she was like, don't tell me. Yeah. But I was like, I want you to know that if you ever stepped outside and someone said, as they said this about you, you will be confident to be like, actually,
call
no.
you and be like, yeah.
No, she didn't, because if she did, she would tell me, or she can pick up the phone and be like, I heard this. I know, like, I would say, yeah, I said it, or no, I didn't. Do you get what I mean? Like, so I think for me, like communication is something I really picked up with this whole scenario, and even having this chat now, because it's quite surreal. Like I don't even recognize the person Solly had described, because I was like, oh, change all of that. And no, but I do remember, I think my heart just remembers a moment where I felt like it was done, and I had just carried on, and I was like, okay, cool, since they're done, let me register the trademark, and I was just carrying on. I think I never had a spiteful, and I think it read spitefully.
Yeah, at the
time. Rather than, but when it was happening in that, it was very much like, okay, cool, next business order. Okay, let me think about a new business idea I can do. Like literally, I was just carrying on with life. So I think that's what I genuinely want you guys to understand. Like, I don't function like that. If I dislike you, I will tell you, like, directly. And that was very much on just doing a thing and not being considerate on how it will impact other people and you guys especially. So yeah, I think communication is something I've really heavily learned.
Communication. If we were good communicators, none of the stuff we went through would have happened. But it had to happen.
We're not taught communication as with young people, like in African homes. Like we don't even understand the concept of communicating, like what that looks like.
Healthy communication as well. Yeah,
I think healthy communication. Yeah,
we communicated, but it wasn't healthy how we did it.
No, but the whole thing, how I've grown up is, if someone says something to you, even if you don't like it, silence. That's what I've grown up with. And my reaction, and it makes so much sense to me why I didn't vocalize that actually you leaving, do you understand that I've done this, like this has impacted this? My natural reaction was silence, and then do what you need to do privately and get yourself sorted, because don't talk. So I think communication was massive as well. And parenting, our parents, we'll just clap for them in the corners.
Yeah, there's so many things we've had to unlearn, man.
Absolutely. Just clap for them.
How about you, Solly? Like, what does it look like now? Like having an aligned, fulfilling friendship. What does that look like to you now?
Just to echo off what Esne said, I think communication is really important. And I think for me, being the kind of person that I am, I'm naturally a peaceful person. And I've had to learn to speak up more and advocate for myself a little bit more. And I think being in a group with two very strong personalities, I've sometimes felt like my voice was unheard, and sometimes that my voice was overshadowed. And in a friendship, you don't really want that. You want to feel like your friends hear you and they're listening and they receive what you're saying. So even though being peaceful, is a good thing, it's not always the best thing when it comes to communicating, because you just tend to not vocalize your feelings and just harbor a lot of things. So just to go back to the question that you asked Nabile about how she dealt with the betrayal, rather than, at that point for me, I didn't feel like I needed to talk to you about how you hurt me. I just took a step back and I just literally allowed you to do your thing. Like for me, the friendship meant more to me than the business and the group. So it wasn't like, oh, this is Esne, my business partner, that did all of this. It was more like, this is Esne, my sister, my friend, that's doing this. So at that point, I wasn't trying to fight you anymore. I'm just like, do you know what? my peace of mind is so much more important than, and it's so funny because even like younger, when I was young, I didn't know anything about mental health or peace of mind or whatever that we know now and like how we speak about it now. But I just know that it was more important to me not to get dirty because that's how I saw it. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
It does.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But that's how it felt like to me. It felt very dirty. It was more important for me not to get dirty and just leave it, which is why I stepped back. For me, yes, we're not together CEO dancers anymore, but also Esne as my friend is no longer, you know, so.
But then why did we all kind of carry on?